and I am your host, Jennifer Sonko. At least I'm your host, Runaway Back Again, you know, something like that. But it's always good to be back. I missed you so much. How are you doing?
I miss you too.
Oh.
You know,
and you didn't cry. You promised me that whenever I'm not on this platform, you'll be crying all over.
From day one.
Really?
I mean, you know, men, we cry in our hearts. We don't cry external.
That's the excuse you always
People
give
don't
me.
have to see us crying. Otherwise, I mean, a grown-up man crying like a baby, I mean, it's something else.
But how have you been?
Well, alhamdulillah, things have been moving, you know, smoothly.
Okay.
MashaAllah. I'm healthy, bouncing, coming to work and going home. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. The people that make Kenya.
What?
Nga buy my affair.
Buy my affair here.
Jay bum deme Kenya musud ma call.
Anyway, Mar, good morning. Thank
morning,
you. Yeah.
Morning, Jay.
Yeah.
Morning, Balde.
Yeah, but anyway, Mar, ki buka file. But Mar, first of all, before we head into the newspaper review, actually, I've been to Kenya before, but I've been to Mombasa, and then this time I went to Nairobi, and I know you've been to Nairobi before. Mar, I was like, look at the difference. Like the development there is just so massive. The infrastructure is amazing. The way they handle money is amazing. Even the person selling get staff at the highway can actually have an M-Pesa and actually get money. So which means like robbery, the rate of the criminal rate there is a bit high, but when it comes to somebody just robbing you, taking your money, then that's not going to happen because then you're using mobile money. So the development there is just so massive. Absolutely.
No, definitely, and I think they've also capitalized on the resources that they have, like the natural resources, to make it a tourist attractive destination.
Exactly.
And so many tourists are actually going in there, and they're generating a lot of money from there. And there's one example that I was also giving to some colleagues in the Gambia. When you go to the airport and then park your car, right, they charge you $35 every night.
Yes.
And you pay that in cash, no receipt is actually given to you. If you go to Kenya, like in the garage, right, be a mall or what have you, when you park,
it's a system.
right, yes, it's a system. When you park, there's a limited number of time. If you go beyond that limited number of time, you pay more, right? So that money is actually going into either the municipality or the government. So that all goes down to how you will become more strategic in attracting domestic revenue, right? So I think that's one of the things that we do not take really seriously. And then the M-Pesa that you're talking about, digital economy, right? It has been the Gambia's government's plan for God knows how many years now, right? There was a research that was done by the World Bank, and it stated that 77% of Gambians do not have a bank account, right? So how do we promote that digital money when we do not have employees?
Exactly.
You know, first we need to look at whether employees are being paid by hard cash, because there are some certain institutions that will do that. They will hand over to you envelope, right, as your salary. We need to abolish that. The money has to go to a bank account, and that particular person needs to have an ATM card, right?
Exactly.
So as a result of that, when you have people having access to bank account and having an ATM card, then you can introduce this POS. In markets, like you said, the person selling Gacha
it's going to use
even in Nigeria,
it
happens there. In Sierra Leone, it happens there. Why not us? So we said our dollar quality is not good. Central bank now comes with some regulation to say
policy.
that banks have to give clean cash.
Clean money.
But you know, I think we've now moved past that, right? Let's introduce and push for the reform for digital economy. When you make that happen, it's going to work. It's just a matter of
and aside
policy.
from that, tourism and culture, you know, I mean, you go to the Giraffe Center, you know, if you're not a Kenyan, then you have to pay 1,500 shillings. If you're a Kenyan, you pay 400 shillings. You see the difference. Look at the money that is generating. If you go to our tourism sites in the Gambia, you know, they're down. Every day they're complaining. You go to Kachikali Crocodile Pool, they're complaining. They don't have money for feed for the crocodiles. You go to, you know, James Island, it's dilapidated. You know, they're using tourism and culture, you know, as a very, very strong sector when it comes to generating money.
I think for Gambia, I mean, we are more into promoting, I mean, the destination Gambia, while there is nothing to promote. I think we need to work on our infrastructure, we need to work on our tourism attraction sites before we focus on promoting. But we are doing more of promotion, but there is nothing to see. I mean, I feel disappointed when tourists come to the Gambia and they go to Fatala to go and watch animals.
Through Gambia.
What reason?
Even Gambians now going to Fatala. You know, the irony here is Senegalese used to come to Gambia for tourism, right? Sierra Leone and Ivory Coast, not Ivory Coast, but Cape Verde. They all learned from the Gambian experience, right? Then was it in the early 1990s 90s or the 1980s, I don't know, something like that. So they were learning from the Gambian experience. How was Gambia doing well in terms of tourism, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately now everything has been redirected, right? Instead of destination Gambia, we're going to destination Senegal, destination
Cape
Cape
Verde.
Verde, and you name it. Guinea-Bissau also is coming up. So, like you said, we're promoting the destination, but we're not promoting the products. I was watching then in somewhere around 2016,
Right.
27. I was watching GRTS, right, and the tourists was being interviewed, and they asked the tourists, journalists asked the tourists, what do you love about Gambia? He said, oh, the nice people, the smile, the beaches, but I've been here for God knows how many years. Every now and then I do come to the Gambia, but I keep seeing the same thing.
Yeah, there's
right?
no difference.
No, the same cultural people will be singing the same song to you, the same type of dance, the same cultural group will be coming to you. You go to the market, it's the same thing. So how do we become innovative in selling these ideas? And I was also selling these ideas to some folks to say, look, we have our beach. The tourists, gas or what have you, are now preventing people to go to the deep sea to protect their life. Now it's simple. You know those great wheels?
Yeah.
Right? That spin around.
Yeah.
If you don't want people to go to the beach, right, inside the ocean and swim, bring something like that. People pay, and they got under the great wheel, and the wheel will be moving for 5 minutes, and then you pay about $300, $400. That money goes into you.
It goes.
You know, you see those bowling as well, where people just ball through, create all of those issues. People have fun, you know, the person will be low, money will be generating. Either KMC or the Minister of Tourism needs to come up with those issues, right? And then we make money and develop the country.
Well, I mean, that is supposed to be the case. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it is supposed to be. I mean, but when are we starting? How are we starting?
Well,
and
it's
where
about
are we
starting. You know, it's about starting
Who is going
someday.
to start?
At
I mean,
the end of
that's
day.
the problem here.
Look, the money is there, right? The government cannot give us excuse to say the money is not there. When they want money, they always get money. Right? We see all the things that have been going on and people are talking about it. When government wants to implement a project, they will always implement because there is different sources of revenue that they could tap, either in the form of a loan, which we actually discourage. But now let's look from within. Right? The inflations are going high, taxes are going high, money is coming in. Let's redirect the priorities from our own resources. If we are putting more money into recurrent expenditures, to allowances, to cars, to what have you, refurbishment of buildings, that never brings in that money back. Why not we redirect our attention from recurrent expenditures to these particular areas that I've mentioned to now spending it in money-making avenues.
Right.
You invest and then you receive your return on investment. So it's about leadership and interest.
Again, I think something that's worth talking about is the issue, obviously, you know, how in Kenya they have their social protection services are actually funded by government. It's from government coffers where they pay, you know, maybe young people who are unemployed, maybe work for cash, or, you know, as someone's pension, women who are unemployed. It all comes from government coffers. So because that happens, you see that when donor partners come, they actually even direct to donor partners to tell them this is what we want, because the money is coming from us. Provide us technical support, provide us computers, provide us this. But if it goes wrong, we can always give it back to you, because the actual cash transfer that we are doing is coming directly from government coffers. And currently, you know, in 2016, then Gambia introduced this social protection policy. Obviously, it's just developing now, but obviously supported by the World Bank and other agencies around who are also doing the same thing. But the issue is now transitioning from that to handling it on our own way, then it's sustainable, which is also very important.
No, definitely, especially the old age, and then also those that do not have access to facilities.
Yes.
I think they need those care. I mean, I think there was this thing called Nafa Quick that was going on when they were giving.
Yes, it's part of the cash transfer.
Exactly, but it's good initiative. Though the money was very small, it can actually spend it in a day or two, but it's a good start, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, how do you domesticate that initiative to make sure that from your own resources you put in money? Yeah, the problem that we have in here, right, is dependence. I mean, we are now bringing that level of dependence down bit by bit, not as we thought it should be. The dependence should be from within, right? Our own resources, right? Mënuñoo continuer di uti nit mu ñuy jox ñu ñu dundee. COVID-19 has taught us, you know, an example. When we were being too dependent and COVID-19 hit, all of those countries that we are bringing in money, they have to go back and focus on their
ñoom
people.
seen dëkki bopp
First,
seen dëkka
right? And then what happened? We look back from our budget. You know what we did?
Waaw.
We cut off so many expenditures.
yi nga xam ne sax waaw
Transportation, fuel.
Wow.
We cut off those monies. Made $500 million is domestic
Available.
cash to counter
Si
COVID-19.
tanga-tanga.
Si tanga-tanga bi.
Wow.
500 million. Si sun own xaalis. ñu jógee si loolu noonu, and then we started they introduced the COVID-19 food aid
waaw
package. Kenn xiifutoon
distribution bi
time
lekka
boobu
bi,
noonu.
waaw.
Kenn xiifutoon. Right? Because of that initiative, people were being 8% of the population were being supported with that.
Okay.
It came from our own.
Wow.
So can't we continue that?
waaw loolu sax point bi nga wax noonu dafa over important because man sax musuma toog xalaat ko
Yeah.
te lu mu si mënti mel
Yeah.
social protection
Yeah.
te at the end of the day mobilize nañ ko suñ biir dëkka so it's about the will
Yep.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day
We started it, it went well. Why not continue it?
Yeah.
Right? It was a Gambian solution to a problem. Obviously, we need partners to help. But then, during that period, when we were unguarded, right, we looked from within and then solve our own issues.
So it's telling us, I mean, even donors can make us to feel very lazy. I mean, sometimes,
Wow.
you
That
know, the
can be a
things that we can do.
disadvantage.
I mean, when we expect a lot of donation from partners, I mean, it will not make us stand on our feet, I mean, to do the work. I
Yeah.
mean, COVID-19, like you said, have taught us a lesson that we can do it. So I think that formula should be followed by
continue.
authorities.
But Pere, shifting the conversation, I think it is important that we talk about the issue of the deportation because tey rek maa ngi doon hold paper si ma gis for something like that. So ma bëggoon a xam sa opinion because opinion yu bari arise na ñii di wax ne okay deportation bi they're okay with it because obviously individual bi dafa dem foofu illegally ñii di wax naan deportation bi government dañ si war a def something because maybe sometimes lack of understanding because foog naa nit ñi dañ leen war a sensitize in relation to deportation ak fan la Gambia mun a am as to boundary am pour teg tànkam wax ne suma ñii duñ ñit si ak already nit ñi ñu understand dafa am consequences yu am because nit ñi dañ dee uti visa duñ am because of certain restrictions yi nga xam ne ñu ngi fa waaye nit ñi xamuñ so I think maybe Ministry of Foreign Affairs dañ war a génn waxa nit ñi pour nit ñi xam xaw ma daal si suma gis bi ko ñaaka xam bi dafa bëri nga dégga nit di wax loo xam ne dégga sky talk la but you can't even educate the individual
Jigi nga dëkk bi ñun dañ neex de.
dañ neex
Because number one, so xoolee the Senegalese and the Guineans that are here, right? Sun immigration ñu ngi run after them for alliance card.
skelter
You leen ni send to prison, right? For alliance card.
Wow.
West Africans, right? Loolu number one, kenn waxu si ñun Gambian kenn waxu si dara. Number two, constitution bi ban doon andi draft constitution bi. Gambian ni ñu ngi compare ñu ne constitution bi is making it easier for other Gambians to have Gambian nationality.
seetal ma loolu
ñun ñu ne non.
Du fi
right?
am.
Dafa yomb trop pour nit mun a am Gambian nationality. Am na ñi nga xamante ne seen parents yi nekkuñu Gambian gars yi nekk ak Gambian ba tey mënuñoo am nationality of a Gambian.
lu ñaaw
yaa ngi wax kenn waxu si dara léegi suñu doom yu nekk si biti saa yuñ toogee ñu ñaanal leen ñu ne yàlla ñaanal leen pour gars yi am kayit. So yow da nga bëgg a mun naxari sa boor waaye mu neexee si beneen boor.
It's unfair.
So naka tudda foog naa right yes the youth are desperate right the youth wanted to have a sustainable source of income and the Gambia is not giving them that opportunity right the youth got frustrated because of not only political not only economical issues but also social issues like politics right when they get frustrated with the way they have been governed and they see people plundering money they just wanted to risk their life and then seek for greener pasture so man foog naa what other countries have been doing. We need to emulate that, right? Rwanda, mu ngi receive refugees and asylum seek wala naka tudda those that have make it illegally to other countries without papers. Ñun naka leen mun a xoolee from within to make this country so exciting,
ne nit ñi
right?
dañ fi toog.
So economically motivated pour nit ñi mun a toog ñu liggéey seen dëkk ñu mun a teral seen boppa teral seen ay mbokk teral seen waaju foofu moo nekk de solution ñun defuñu loolu so yeneen dëkk tamit ñun amee suñ right ñooñu tamit noonu la gaa amee seen right
exactly
so duñ ñëw ñu ne ok no to déportation ñooñu seen dëkk la
seen dëkk la ñu am seen ressources
suñu
si bopp
bëggee ñu change waaye nag ñu change now ñu bàyyi Sénégalais yi ak Guinéen ñu ñuy toppa di jël alliance card di leen suñu leen joxutee suñu amatee alliance card ñu dugal leen si pick-up naaj bu tànga dugal leen si prison
ba pare loolu duñ si wax dara
Wala
waaye
tëj
kuñ
seen
fi
business.
deport ñu am lu ñu war a wax because at the end of the day yow boo doon dem si dëkk boobu leer na la nañ ne bu fa doon dem amuloo kayit da nga dem si dëkki jàmbur xam nga wax bi neexut because soo ko waxee sa nga génn ñu saaga la wala xas la parce que at the end of the day understanding issues yi wala ñu blame government because sometimes ok media dañ dee dem after government waaye government tam suñu raaytee dañ ko dee wax ñu ngee dem after government munuñ si lii dara comme amuñ doole bi pour dem wax jaamani ne doo leen deport ñi at the end of the day lu nekk dafa am government bu nekk dafa am boundaries nga am foo war a am already restrictions yaa ngi fa when it comes to visa understand nañ ne restrictions yooyu noonu mu ngi even affect government bi government suñ sañoon benn Gambian du uti visa ñu reject ko waaye because of the issue of nit ñi di dem bañ a ñibbisi ak yooyu noonu te yow boo doon dem leer na la nañ ne dangaa dem dikki jàmbur te amuloo kayit so dignity war na laa mun a may nga ñibbisi ndanka uti the right way mbaa nga liggéey sa dëkka option yooyu noonu nga am
xam nga lu nit ñi fail to understand especially ñun Gambian yi waaw luñ dee foog ne maybe suñ jógee ñu coow ñu wax can make other countries change their rules and regulations te ñoom dañ am seen loi comme Jenaba nu mu ko waxee even ñun suñ waxee fii we back at the end of the time ñoom loolu taxut sa ñu change seen loi so I think people need to understand these things man lu ma gis mooy bu nekkee ne yaa ngi dugal country jàmbur make sure lu óor dugal la fa understand nga pour nga avoid disappointment ñu laa téye di la sànni si sa country ak yooyu although yeneen yi du mun a ñaaka comme nga mun a dem with the nga dem through back way nga dugal loolu nit ñi dañ ko dee gis waaye make sure nga ut required documents yi pour nga mun a am résidence si dëkk boobu
waaw because ñun tamit foreigners yi fi dee ñëw suñu amutee kayit dañ leen di dugal si pick up yóbbu leen si kaso bi so the same way nuñ koo defee foreigners yu jógee Gambie ñu nit buñ demee dëkki jàmbur te waruñ faa toog amuñ kayit dañ ñu koo def dëgg bi nañ ko waxante
dañoo waxaa nguur bi tam de nguur bi nañ try ñu create plateforme si nga xam
si biir dëkk bi
xale yi dañoo mun a ñëw toog ñu liggéey su liggéey amut foog yu si génn
def loolu
there is no doubt about it
loolu moom dëgg la
including decentralization of infrastructural development right fii nii Greater Banjul area mu ngi populate right every just few weeks ago ñu doon am boobu noonu conversation ñun fii nii ñaari benn city lañ xam ñooy Banjul KMC is developing to become a city right ñun dañ ko war a wax state sax léegi Brikama state ñu am naka Janjanbureh state bu nekk mu am city bi nga xamante ne dafay am
yow dinañ la
waaw maa fa mu dem waaw time bi waaw 17 time gaaw na torop nag because we had a lot of things to talk about but obviously dinañ schedule another day balaañ maa dóor parce que time moom jeex na torop balde bëggut ñu dóor ma moo tax mu laa wax ne time jot na but obviously it's always good to have you here and I'm looking forward to activities from Gambia Participates gëj na ñoo wax si Gambia Participates but looking forward to what you guys have on the table. We'll go for a short break and when we come back the program continues. Don't go anywhere.
Technology has always been at the forefront of our lives and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we're entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now. With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fix Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
QCell brings you the future with our ultimate bundles. Enjoy the best voice and data bundle plans in one package. Get unlimited data packages with flexible validity and enjoy what true internet feels like. Get 30 minutes of on-net and off-net calls with 5 gigabytes of data for just $350. or get bigger bundle packages from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes with over 100 on-net and off-net voice calls and enjoy the fastest internet speed in the Gambia. You can also buy 1-day, 3-day or even 7-day packages and enjoy unlimited data bundles with uncapped speeds. Just dial *343# today and experience the limitless capabilities of the QCell network. *343# should be your favorite code to dial now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, we innovate, others follow.
From that short break, if you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV This Morning, and I am Jana Bosonko. So, Ibrahim, now we are actually shifting our attention to this year's World Population Day. I can remember last year we had a discussion right here on World Population Day. Time flies,
wow,
right?
Definitely.
And
it's like yesterday.
It's just like yesterday, and we're joined by the UNFPA country representative, Nehru Sar. Thank you so much for joining us. It's like yesterday, right? I can remember.
It goes so fast.
Yeah, but thank you so much for joining us. It's good that you're here. And this year's World Population Day theme, personally, I think it's something very dear to me, you know, which has to do with unleashing the power of gender equality. And, you know, it's important that we understand the work of UNFPA in that direction in relation to ensuring that the resilience and sustainability of this particular agenda that we are seeking. What has been the UNFPA doing in relation to achieving this particular theme that we are talking about as to World Population Day?
Thank you very much, Ms. Sonko, for having me once again and supporting the work of UNFPA. As you know, UNFPA has 3 transformative results across the world, and they are all relevant to the Gambia as well. One of them is ending the unmet need for family planning. Another one is ending preventable maternal deaths. And the third one is ending the gender-based violence and the harmful practices, which are mostly in the Gambia, FGM and child marriage. We also have another motto. You probably heard it many times from colleagues. It's about making sure that every childbirth is safe, every pregnancy is also safe, and that every young person's potential is fulfilled. And I just heard you interviewing the gentleman before about the situation of migrants. So UNFPA really stands for those. We really want to make sure that especially the girl child, the 10-year-old girl, has the opportunity of growing to become fulfilling her potential, being part of the society and being part of the human capital that we all talk about all the time.
Yeah, so moving on, this team also has a direction of looking at women making their own choices and decisions when it comes to their bodies, you know, especially the use of contraception, which really UNFPA has been doing a great job when it comes to sensitization and using maybe traditional leaders to change mindsets. But beyond that, just give us a rundown of how the journey has been and where are we now?
Yeah, so it's very difficult because, as you know, the access to family planning is something that we really have really close to our hearts. What happened is that gender equality and women's empowerment goes hand in hand with the capacity of a woman to decide on her own choices. And unfortunately, across the world, and this is even worse in sub-Saharan Africa, women most of the time don't have a say in what's happened to their body. So the average number is 44% of women across the world, but in sub-Saharan Africa, in some countries and in some areas of any given country, it can go up to 60 to 70%, where people cannot even go to see a doctor when they are pregnant unless the husband or the husband's family say yes. So, and as I said, there's an unmet need for family planning. So when you interview a woman, whether she's literate or illiterate, she will tell you that I don't have a choice my husband doesn't want me to, or my family doesn't want me to have access to contraceptive, although they want it. So that's what we call an unmet need, and we need to put an end to that. Last year, we developed an investment case with the Office of the President, which we will be launching soon on these 3 transformative results I mentioned, to tell the world that when you invest in these 3 transformative results, you get the gender equality and women's empowerment you're looking for, and then you ultimately you get to the human capital and the demographic dividend you probably heard about. So it's about the choices that an individual can make about their own body, and you know, strive to become what they want to be.
Ibrahima, do you want to come in? I was also thinking that we, you know, take a look at young people, because, you know, most of the time the argument is that the Gambia's biggest economic challenge in the next few years is going to be its youthful population, you know. So what is UNFPA doing as well in relation to engaging these young people? Because Mar, like you mentioned, was talking about the issue of young people migrating because the environment is not conducive for them, so they end up migrating, and now the deportation issue is happening where everybody feels like it is not supposed to happen, but then they're like, locally, what is available for these young people?
Yeah, I mean, it's the socio-economic issues. You have the economic part where, you know, the government has to work with the World Bank and the IMF and others to make sure that, you know, everything from the economic side is going well. But as I mentioned, the other dimension is the social part, and I tend to say that a bird with one wing cannot fly, and in most of our countries in sub-Saharan Africa, we don't empower the 50 or to 51% in some cases of our population, which are women. And I mentioned the 10-year-old girl who most likely, when she turns 12 or 13, is probably going to be seen by her society as someone they need to marry off, someone who should drop from school, etc. And, you know, recently we talked about the menstrual health, for example. If a girl menstruates 5 days a month and doesn't have access to menstrual health, hygiene and products, what happens is that she will stay home for 5 days a month. If you calculate it in a 10 months school year, it's 50 days. And you know, studies from UNESCO had shown that if you miss that many days from school, you are most likely going to be less efficient than your boys' counterpart. So it's an investment that we need to do to make sure that we educate our people, the young people, but specifically the young girls and young women, young adults, women, because that's where the most we find the most issues. Obviously, across comprehensive health education is also very important for people to know, you know, what is the age of consent, where do they want to go. So comprehensive sexuality education, in the Gambia we call it health education because of what is accepted. But just to tell you that when you teach people about how do they feel about themselves and what are their potential, you know, they may be artists or something else, that they're not engineers or doctors, but they are still relevant and can contribute to their society. So it's a matter of having this holistic approach to educate them, to also give them comprehensive sexuality education about their bodies, and also that they know that they are human beings, that they can thrive in their own country. And UNFPA works with different other UN agencies on employment, for example, working with out-of-school children, just to make sure that we are inclusive and we don't leave no one behind.
Well, it's a bit complex one. I mean, when you look at the society, the way we operate in our society, it's like, you know, there are a lot of key factors that, I mean, you know, are contributing to certain issues that we are having and making this fight very difficult for us, especially UNFPA. Let's take a look at culture. Let's take a look at, I mean, religion. Let's take a look at other, I mean, you know, issues in our society. So what are you doing, I mean, at least to change, I mean, this mentality of, I mean, our people?
I mean, you know, change is always progressive, and it takes everyone's effort. Ms. Sonko mentioned the traditional and religious leaders, for example. UNFPA in many countries, including here in the Gambia, works with those people to make sure that they help us. So we have also community-based organizers, very important, because the message is not for us to come and say, you should do it this way or that way. Social norms are very difficult to change, but when you work with the community, when you develop what we call positive masculinity, when young boys and men understand that, you know, women are human beings just like them, that they are equal, that the opportunities should be there for all of them, you know, society then change in a positive way.
Yeah, you talked about something very important, which is the menstrual hygiene. I can remember the previous UNFPA representative, we invited him here, and he talked about a center in Basse,
Yes.
URR, that was there and then
Yes.
producing the sanitary products. How is that working?
It's still there. We're still producing. Actually, recently the UN News came to visit the Gambia to visit that that center. We are going to, at some point, transfer it to the Ministry of Gender. As you know, they are in charge of the gender issues in the government, and so it was a peace building fund project. But once the project is phasing out, the sustainability of the center, I think, is there. The Ministry of Basic Education is also very interesting in you know, using the same model in some other regions.
Okay.
I think it's going to be very awesome. So, you know, this reusable pads are a solution to keep girls in school. So you have to check it, to take a look at it as it's one part of the equation when it comes to gender equality.
Yeah. So still on the issue of gender equality, as we are talking about unleashing the power of you know, gender equality, is the UNFPA engaging CSOs, governments, and other partners in relation to women's involvement in politics? Because when we look at our parliament, for example, it's not looking good. You look at the cabinet, for example, it's not looking good, and you know, just the municipalities as well. So are there any success stories of partnerships or engagements where this narrative, where UNFPA is looking to change this narrative?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Recently, during the local elections, we worked with the 58 candidates that were running. You know, for us, we made gains. Not all of them made it, but a few of them made it. So right now, we have another project with the Peace Building Fund, which is all about women's political participation. You know, as this State of the World Population report is saying, we are 8 billion around the world, but it's 8 billion possibilities. For us, we take people as individuals with rights and choices. So it's important that we keep that message going. And obviously, the one from our annual report, we just also launched our annual report last week. For us, these 3 transformative results I mentioned before are very, very important. And we really will continue to work with CSOs, with the government, to make sure that every young person's potential is fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at the issue of female genital mutilation. I mean, is there any point that you engage religious leaders? Because most of the time, this practice, people try to attach this more to religion. Some will tell you religion accepts this, religion doesn't accept it. So what is your own view from your engagement, if there is any engagement with the religious leaders?
So Balde, I'll just attach the final question to this one, because we only have 3 minutes. So together, you know, just finally, what is UNFPA looking forward to when it comes to collaboration, you know, with government in relation to achieving the sustainable development goals, ensuring that no one is left behind, and you know, women and girls get to see their potential. You know?
No, I mean, for the government part, I think it's easy, because the government of the Gambia is very much committed to gender equality. The most recent National Development Plan is very clear about it. And talking about FGM, the engagement with traditional religious leaders, for us, is very, very important. And UNFPA has this comparative advantage in many, many countries. We work with them. We will continue to work with them. But we will also continue to build what we call a feminist movement, where really men and women who are really calling themselves champion will continue to support us. But I wanted to end the conversation about the World Population Day that is happening tomorrow, just to tell your viewers that for UNFPA and the UN as a whole, we don't consider these 8 billion people as a threat. For us, it's really about the opportunities of each and every person to fulfill their potential and have their rights and choices protected wherever they are. That's one thing. The other thing is that the World Population report, the World Population Day is also about gender equality. So what is important is that we continue to empower this 10-year-old girl so that she moves from 10 to 18 to 24 and becoming a part of the human capital that any country would need to prosper.
Yeah, we're also aware that marking World Population Day, UNFPA is launching its flagship State of the World Population Report 2023,
Yes.
8 billion lives and indefinite possibilities, the case of rights and choices. Looking forward to reading it, Ibrahima. I know it has everything in it, so at least it will serve as, you know, some form of guiding us when it comes to issues of gender equality. I'm always, you know, debating with him when it comes to these issues, but he's on our side now.
He's a gender
like you said,
champion,
he's a gender champion. We need the he's and we need the she's on
Exactly.
board
I mean,
for the narrative
we all
to
have
change.
to support the fight.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm glad you're with us now.
He wasn't before.
Well, I'm just teasing him. He's on our side. Don't worry, he's on our side. But thank you so much,
Thank you so
for
much for
joining us.
having
Like you said when you came in, you are now part of the team.
Exactly.
Where, you know, it's just a fixed thing that we have UNFPA representatives educating the public. It's a collective responsibility, and the media has a huge role to play,
Absolutely.
which we always do.
And we train media for that as well.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us. So we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, Ibrahima, we'll take a look at our African proverb. We decided to have a flip of things today, but it's just going to work well at the end of the day. So we'll be right back.
Been at the forefront of our lives, and the way we use it has evolved drastically over the years. With the advent of 5G internet, we are entering a new era of technological innovation that promises to transform the way we live, work, and play. 5G internet is capable of providing data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, making it the ideal solution for streaming high-quality videos, playing online games, and downloading large files on the go. 5G internet is already transforming cities across the globe, powering smart cities, self-driving cars, and virtual reality experiences that were once thought impossible. 5G internet is also paving the way for Internet of Things, allowing for seamless connectivity between devices and the creation of a truly connected world. For the first time in the Gambia, QCell is bringing tomorrow's technology to you today with the launch of QCell 5G Internet. Get ready to experience the out-of-this-world wonders of QCell's 5G Internet. For more information, call 111. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fix internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. So like I mentioned, Ibrahima, we decided to, you know, flip the program in grand style. Xam nga dama fi gëj. So ñu decide pour jaxase ko rek. Xam nga fole feneen. So read our African proverb for us. Su ko defee.
Ears that do not listen to advice accompany the head when it is chopped off.
Ears that do not listen to advice accompany the head when it is not chopped off.
When it is chopped off.
When it is chopped off. Dafa accompany bopa bi suñ ko dogee. So what does that tell you?
Maanaam is simple. Bopa bi nga xam ne noppa yi nga xam ne dégguñ su ñoo dog bopa bi noppa yi ak bopa bi ñoo so it's telling you one should listen to advice. One should you know take heed to proper guidance. Nit daf la war nit da nga war a am guidance, nit da nga war a am si koy roy lu baax. Otherwise, you know, you will be in hot water, obviously. So this is what it's telling you. Nit da nga war a am dal guidance, proper guidance. Wow.
At the end of the day, things to go wrong, you'll be the one to be affected.
Exactly.
Because when the head is chopped, so at the end of the day, it's just about, you know, listening to the right advice, but also making sure that sometimes, you know, you have your personal goals, you have your personal beliefs. You know, when somebody also gives you advice, not say it. Lu gën si yow. Be pare, when the hair is chopped off, that is consequences yi su ñëwee. Da nga wara nekk individual boo xam ne di nga bear the consequences, knowing that you made those decisions.
Absolutely.
That's also very important.
Wow.
I'm not blaming people around you.
Wow. But it's telling you have to also, I mean, get good company.
Yep.
Nit yi nga xam ne dañ baax, because at the end of time bu nekkee ne, for example, yow yaa ngi nekk in the midst of maybe ay drug addicts yi nga xam ne ñooñu laal ay drugs rek ak yooyu noonu. Bés bu drug squad ñëwee bu nekkee yow doo ko dee def sax.
dañ laa enwaale yóbbu la parce que ñoo bokk.
So when they chop up the head, I mean the ears will follow the head as well.
ba pare sa wax nga affaire friendship lu important gis nga Balde léegi jamono moo tooli foo xam ne sax mbaa xaritoo jar na ko. Man de léegi ragal naa xarit de. man daal su yàggee ma nekk benn banta di dox parce que man dëkk bi ni ma ko gisee nii ñemeñatuma xarit.
léegi xam nga lan laa gëm lu ma gëm mooy mates nga am sa group of mates.
ñi nga muubal rek.
non da ngeen a toog ngeen waxtaan soo leen jógee foofu ku nekk dem yoonam.
koolante sa bu mu si
waaw waaye ne dama am best friend fii. dama am best
loolu xeewi na dafa xeewi.
loolu amut fenn.
non xeewi na léegi daal because luñ gis mooy. those besties when things go wrong dafa explode. yow léegi sa secret amatuloo kenn koo ko mën a share si biir dëkk bi noonu la dëkk bi mel te ñun man xaw ma woon lii man bi maa mag bi maa nekk xale di mag du ma daan gis lii.
waaw xam nga léegi society bi change na nit ñi gën na ñoo muus nit ñi gën na ñoo bëri xam nga àddina léegi lañ waxtaan affaire yi world population bi 8 billion nit yaa ngi bëri xam nga nit you know social media bi fële ba pare nit ñi dégguñ léegi nit ñi alal lañ gën a jiital so da ngaa gis ne loolu daf dee dugga sa diggante ak sa friend as well you know so I think it's important for one to take note. lu ma laa waxal mooy. there is nothing like best friend. suma proper friend suma lii. chat with people. good relation with people. soo leen pare ku nekk
na nga dem sa yoon man daal léegi na nga def jaama rek su weesoo du ma kool kenn di peeloo ak yow boo ñibbee ñibbi nga bi ma ñibbee na mu jeex. waaw ba pare tam sa secret na nekk si marché bi sax. ñëpp xamal la bu boobaa duñ ko use against yow.
absolument
taxaw si marché bi wax ko moo gën a yombandoo.
mu ngi mel ni suñ time bi jeex na.
waaw time bi jeex na so next ëllëg tuuti ma ne next week nag parce que xam nga dama fi géej.
non ëllëg
foog ñu ñëwaat.
waaw ëllëg dañoo dem
see you tomorrow have a nice day you guys.
bye bye.
Bye.